Instead of asking, what should I drink to stop joint pain? Try asking, what should I eat today so I can walk easier tomorrow? When I first turned 60, I began to feel every little pop in my knees each morning. Some days, the moment I set foot on the floor, my legs would go numb, and my ankles would swell like someone was squeezing them tight. I figured it was just aging, something you learn to live with. But then, one day, I read something that made me stop and think. Turns out that after 60, our bodies gradually lose the ability to produce collagen each year. And collagen is like biological cement. It keeps your knees stable, your cartilage from wearing down, and your ligaments from getting loose. Without it, every step becomes a burden. I didn't take any pills or buy expensive collagen supplements. I simply changed the foods I ate every day. And something amazing happened. My knees started to hurt less, the swelling in my legs went down, and in the morning, I could get up and walk without holding onto the bed. In this video, I'll share 8 simple foods that help keep your joints healthy, your steps lighter, and your body more flexible, including one food I bet 90% of folks have never even tried. If you already know it, drop a comment with the number 3. And if you don't, give the video a like anyway. 1. Gelatin, the food I call joint medicine. If you ask me what the simplest joint supplement is that anyone can try, I'd immediately say gelatin. It's not some fancy, hard-to-find item. It's just collagen that's been cooked down and concentrated into a powder or translucent sheet. Sounds scientific, but really, it's one of the easiest forms for older adults to absorb, especially if, like me, your digestive system isn't what it used to be. When I first heard about gelatin, I was a bit skeptical. But I thought, what do I have to lose? Let's give it a try. So I picked up some unflavored gelatin powder, stirred a small spoonful into a cup of warm water each morning, and drank it slowly. That's it. No sugar, no additives. Strangely enough, after about 10 days, I started noticing a difference. The usual swelling in my ankles, the kind I'd get after a trip to the grocery store or walking around the house, was gone. I didn't quite believe it, so I kept the routine going. By the 3rd week, I was walking around the lake near my house without needing to stop and rest like before. Later on, I read a 2018 study published in a nutrition journal. It said older adults who consumed gelatin daily for 6 weeks could see up to a 27% reduction in joint inflammation, and more surprisingly, signs of cartilage thickening, which is rare at our age. To me, gelatin is a medicine, but it works just like a joint booster. You already know how important collagen is. So now, let's explore the collagen in your fridge. If you've ever tossed out chicken skin by accident, drop a comment with the word regret. 2. Chicken skin, the forgotten secret. Back in the day, I used to peel off the skin every time I ate chicken. People were always saying chicken skin was fatty, full of cholesterol, and bad for your health. So I removed it without a second thought, no hesitation. Sometimes I'd even take the skin off someone else's plate just to be safe. But looking back, I realized now that I was throwing away something valuable. It wasn't until I started reading about collagen that I learned chicken skin contains type I and type 3 collagen, the exact types most commonly found in joint cartilage and ligaments. And guess what? Those are exactly the kind of collagen we start lacking as we age. Not some pricey supplement from a fancy store, just good old chicken skin we've been tossing in the trash. From that day on, I changed how I cooked. I started buying bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs and simmering them into a broth with onion, carrots, a few slices of ginger, and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. That pot of soup wasn't just flavorful. It became my weekly healing brew. Tasty, warm, and super easy to eat. After about 4 weeks of eating it regularly, I noticed something surprising. Climbing stairs wasn't a struggle anymore. I used to hear a pop in my knees with every step. Now, much smoother. The pain's not totally gone, but the improvement is real. From something I used to throw away, chicken skin is now a must-have in my weekly soup. If you've ever eaten eggs and only kept the whites, well, sorry to say, you tossed a real treasure. Drop a 3 in the comments to confess. And if not, just hit like, no hard feelings. 3. Eggs. Not the whites, but the yolks. I've been eating eggs since I was a kid. But honestly, for decades I thought the whites were the healthy part. People always said they were high in protein and low in fat. The yolks, on the other hand, were blamed for raising cholesterol. So I only ate them once a while, and even then I felt guilty about it. It wasn't until I started learning about collagen that I was completely surprised. It's actually the yolks that contain the most nutrients to support collagen production. They're packed with sulfur, biotin, and vitamin D, three key components that act like catalysts, helping the body produce its own collagen naturally. Egg whites may be rich in protein, but they don't directly support connective tissue repair. Since learning that, I changed my routine right away. 5 days a week, I have soft-boiled eggs for breakfast. I don't fry them or overboil them. I heard that doing so can destroy the sulfur in the yolks. After about 2 weeks, I noticed something unexpected. Those mild morning backaches I used to think were just part of aging, they were gone. I felt lighter and found it easier to get out of bed. I also came across a pretty interesting study. Seniors over 60 who ate whole eggs regularly for 10 weeks reported up to a 22% reduction in joint pain, especially in the knees and lower back. Since then, I've stopped fearing the yolk. I know it's part of my natural remedy for healthy joints. If you've ever skipped sardines because of the smell, don't scroll past. Stick around and comment. Got it, if you're ready to give sardines a second chance. 4. Whole bone sardines, small but mighty. I'll admit it, I never liked the smell of sardines. Every time I open a can, that faint fishy scent made me hesitate. I used to avoid them completely, even though people often praise them for being cheap, convenient, and nutrient-dense. But one day, I read that sardines with skin and bones are actually one of the best natural sources of collagen, and I decided to give them a try. Turns out, the soft bones in canned sardines are the real treasure. They contain type I collagen, calcium, and phosphorus, three key nutrients that help nourish and repair connective tissues and joints, especially small ones like ankles, toes, and wrists. The fish skin also provides elastin and omega-3s, which help fight inflammation and support joint flexibility. I started eating sardines 3 times a week, usually at lunchtime. I'd mix them with brown rice, add a few slices of lemon, and toss in some fresh herbs to cut the smell. At first, it felt a bit forced, but after a week or 2, I got used to it. And the results? Very noticeable. The nagging ache in my ankles, especially after long walks, started to fade. I even came across a 2022 study showing that adults over 65 who ate sardines regularly saw up to a 25% reduction in joint pain, especially in the knees and ankles, after just 8 weeks. Since then, I've stopped avoiding sardines. They really pack a punch for such a small fish. If you're over 60 and still want to walk like you're 40, drop a 3 in the comments. And if you're 40 but your joints feel like 70, hit that like button right away. 5. Pumpkin seeds, a light snack that packs a punch. Pumpkin seeds might sound like a simple snack, but for me, they become a little secret weapon in my journey to improve joint health and even sleep. Each morning, I usually make a bowl of oatmeal. It's easy to digest and gentle on the stomach, and I sprinkle on a handful of lightly roasted pumpkin seeds. They're crunchy, nutty, and super easy to enjoy. At first, I ate them just because I heard they were heart healthy. But once I dug a little deeper, I learned that just a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds a day can give your body key minerals that are crucial for collagen production, including zinc, magnesium, and manganese. Zinc activates the enzymes needed to produce collagen. Magnesium helps fight inflammation and supports muscles, and manganese plays a key role in forming connective tissue. So while pumpkin seeds don't provide collagen directly, they help your body rebuild its own in a very effective way. Besides having more flexible knees, I noticed something else. I started sleeping more soundly and waking up less during the night. I'm not sure if it's directly because of the seeds, but there's no denying my body felt calmer after a few weeks. One study I read even showed that pumpkin seeds help reduce low-grade inflammation, the kind that quietly causes swelling and joint pain. A small snack, but with benefits that are anything but small. If you still think beef tendon is just bar food and not a real health booster, don't scroll away. Comment didn't know if you've never heard about the collagen in tendon. 6. Beef tendon. the joint medicine I used to avoid. To be honest, I used to avoid beef tendon. It was tough, chewy, and always got stuck in my teeth. No matter how long I chewed, it never seemed to break down. Anytime I ordered pho or noodle soup that came with tendon, I'd pass it to someone else. I always thought, tender meat tastes great. Why bother with this rubbery stuff? But life has a funny way of coming full circle. When I started learning about collagen, I discovered that beef tendon is almost pure collagen, especially type I collagen, which makes up the majority of our cartilage, ligaments, and skin. That changed my entire perspective. I learned how to prepare tendon properly. I simmer it for about 8 hours with rice vinegar, a few slices of ginger, and some shallots. When it's done, the tendon comes out soft like jelly, clear and lightly rich. That's when I truly began to appreciate it. Now, I eat it 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes in hot pot, other times stewed with daikon radish. What surprised me most was how the cracking sound in my knees started to fade. My morning steps felt smoother, without the stiffness I used to expect. I can't exactly measure my joint fluid levels like one study said could improve by up to 63%, but I know for sure that walking has gotten easier, and that's something I can feel. The food I once avoided has now become an essential joint remedy in my weekly meals. Still think collagen is something expensive and out of reach? Drop a comment saying thought so if you used to believe that. And if you've seen the light, hit like and celebrate with me. 7. Canned salmon with bones. Surprisingly nutritious and convenient. Out of all the foods I eat to support my joints, canned salmon with bones is probably the most convenient. No fancy prep, no cooking required. Just pop the lid and it's ready to eat. And the benefits are just as impressive as any other joint-friendly dish. I usually go for canned salmon that includes both the skin and the soft bones inside. A lot of people toss the bones out, thinking they're too hard or gritty. But that's actually where most of the collagen, calcium, and gelatin are, the very nutrients we need to nourish joints, soften cartilage, and keep our bodies flexible as we age. I often mix the salmon with some steamed vegetables, squeeze on a bit of lemon juice, and serve it over brown rice. Some days I roll into fresh spring rolls or make a simple Japanese-style salad. The flavor is lightly rich, not too fishy, and way easier to eat than I expected. After about a month of eating 3 servings a week, I noticed something clear. My joints weren't stiff in the mornings anymore. Getting out of bed felt easier, and climbing stairs didn't sound like a creaky old door. I also read a study that found adults over 60 who regularly ate canned salmon with bones experienced over a 30% reduction in joint stiffness, especially in the knees and hips. Canned salmon, a humble little food that's become a silent ally for my aging joints. Are your joints really aching, or are you just missing a nightly bone broth? Comment, I need it, if you think that might be true. 8. Bone broth, a warm cup of collagen every night. There's a small habit I've kept up for over 3 months now, and honestly, it's changed the way I move every day. I drink a warm cup of bone broth every night, about 30 minutes before bed. It sounds simple, but if you stick with it, you might experience the same kind of magic I did. I usually use beef marrow bones or old stewing hens, simmered in a slow cooker for 12 to 24 hours. I always add a few slices of ginger, some shallots, and a bit of apple cider vinegar to help extract more collagen and minerals from the bones. Once it's done, I strain the broth, store in the fridge, and reheat a small cup each night to sip like tea. Sometimes I use it to cook rice, make vegetable soup, or congee. It's flavorful, lightly rich, and very easy to enjoy. What's special about bone broth is that it doesn't just contain type I collagen, the main type found in cartilage and skin, but also glycine, proline, glutamine, and minerals like magnesium, calcium, potassium, and phosphorus. All of these support reduced inflammation and deep joint repair from the inside out. After about 12 weeks of drinking it regularly, I noticed I could walk to the market, go uphill, and carry groceries without needing to stop and rest. I used to have to sit down after just a few blocks. Now, I make it through the whole market and still feel fine. Friend even said, "You've been moving a lot faster lately." To some people, a cup of broth at night might seem like a small thing, but for me, it's been a gentle, steady remedy. helping me walk lighter, feel stronger, and trust my legs again one step at a time. Choose the right foods, and your joints will thank you. Comment 3, if you want to eat to heal, or just hit, like if you're here for the joy of it. If you're in your 60s, 65, 70, or older, and every morning you wake up feeling sluggish, your legs feel weaker, and your knees make a popping sound to stepping up a curb, please don't rush to blame it on old age. I used to think the same way, that aches and pains were just part of getting older. But now I understand. Our bodies aren't breaking down. They're simply missing the raw materials needed to repair themselves. I didn't take expensive collagen pills. I didn't order fancy supplements from overseas. All I did was take a closer look at what I was eating every day and started making small changes, one food at a time. Today, after a few months of sticking with my new habits, I can walk over a mile around the lake. No stopping, no grabbing handrails to get up the stairs. My knees are still my age, but they don't hurt like they used to, and I know that the 8 simple foods I shared in this video made that difference. But you don't have to try all 8 at once. Just pick 2 or 3 foods that seem easy and doable for you, and stick with them for at least 3 weeks. Pay attention to your body. I truly believe that in a short time, you'll feel lighter, less joint tension, less leg fatigue, and your steps will feel more confident. And if you've got a minute, drop a comment below this video and let me know which food you're going to try first. I read every single one because I believe even the smallest share can help someone else out there. If you like more real, practical health tips made just for folks over 60, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell because your body's healing journey, it's only just getting started. This video may be short, but your steps might go farther after watching it. Comment 3 if you hope so too, or hit like to send some good luck your way. Thank you for watching, and here's the stronger, healthier steps every day.